Posting to Twitter is awesome for creating tweets that you can then turn into longer form content depending on how well they do. I got this idea from someone else online who was using this platform and posting to it hundreds of times a day because there's no penalty for posting multiple times to Twitter. So this is a process that allows you to find out the best performing tweets automatically on autopilot using AI, simply by giving it a few different keywords that you want to then expand into tweets. So I've created an automation process which creates the tweets for you based on a simple idea. It then tracks those tweets, puts it all into Google Sheets, and then will repurpose the best performing content into more content ideas. And you can use this to then turn those best performing tweets into longer form video content or blog content that you might want to publish out to the web on either your blog or other social network platforms. So here's how to do it. Let's jump in. So this process uses a couple of different platforms. It uses make.com to actually set up all the automation. There's obviously Twitter, which you would need to connect to and authenticate through make.com. I use Perplexity AI, which grabs your initial tweet idea and will expand that out into fully formed tweets. We then use Google Sheets to store all of the tweet information and the stats, and of course Slack as a process or a platform to be able to input ideas very easily, and then make.com will read those ideas, send it through the whole process, and give you those automated tweets. I then use also Appify, and there's a specific actor, which they call in Appify, which will then go through, grab all your tweets and grab all the stats, put them back into the Google Sheet so then we can analyze which tweets perform the best. So this is a combination of 4 different automations that I've set up, and I'm going to run you through each of them and how they work. You can also download this whole system if you go over to school.com/marketing automation. You'll be able to join the free school group, and you can click on the classroom tab, which will take you over here, where you can download a number of other automations, and you can see this Twitter automation here. If you click inside, you'll be able to download the SOP documents, which walk you through each automation and how to set it up. And if you click on the download make automations tab, you can download each individual automation there as well. So to run you through this process, this will help you identify the top performing hooks for your market automatically using AI. So we first grab your Slack message, send it over to Perplexity. Perplexity then will analyze that text. It will create 10 different tweets based on that with hashtags. We'll then put it into your Google Doc. Make.com will then read new rows entered into that Google Sheets document. It will then automatically schedule those to be posted to Twitter. We then use Appify to grab the stats on every one of your latest tweets. It'll put that data back into Google Sheets, and then we repurpose the best performing tweet over the last 3 days to then create more content. So that's the whole process there. You can see as an example in Google Sheets here, if I scroll down, I have all of my tweets here that have been posted to Twitter or X, and it's got all the stats on them daily. It will update. So what this looks like, if we go over to Slack, here's a few example entries I've put into a hooks channel. So I will simply put in keywords for different AI platforms or any particular text that I might want to expand on. So I'm playing around with a number of different ideas here, and that will then go over and create all of these automated tweets. So if I run through each scenario, the first one is creating Twitter posts from Slack. I love using Slack for its ease of use. If I have the mobile app, I can simply say, "Hey Siri, open Slack." It will then open up the app on my mobile phone. I can click into the hooks text box or that channel, and then I click the microphone button. I can talk to it. It will use its speech to text recognition. Then I can edit the text any way I want. Click the enter button, or click the icon that will actually then post that content piece to Slack, and then my make.com automation will go read that and do its process from there. So it's very easy to use. Slack is also free to get started with. So if we jump into this first automation or scenario within make.com, I'll run you through each of these processes, and I also have notes on each step within this process so you can see why I'm using a particular function here. So the first step is using Slack. You can create a connection to Slack within make.com, and it simply looks at the hooks channel and will grab one of the latest entries at a time. It will then send that item over to Perplexity, and I have the content here which you will be able to generate or download as well. So this will generate 10 relevant facts based on the content below. I've got a bit of a text prompt here, and I return this in JSON format, and I use a little bit of a trick here to actually then identify that JSON, because it can be sometimes a little bit tricky with AI prompting platforms. They return you text, so you never quite know exactly how that text is going to be returned on any particular day. So this little trick allows us to get back the relevant data every time. The text parser element is an extension of that little trick where we grab the A tag within the content that it returned, and then we parse that through the JSON parser here in make.com, and then we will iterate over that now array that it's returned, and for every item it found, it will add a new entry into my Google Sheet. So it's a pretty straightforward process. It simply adds in the tweet, which will go into the first column here, and then everything else will be inputted later. So that's the first automation. Out to the second automation. So that will be actually posting the tweet to Twitter. The first step is to watch new rows within the Google Sheet, and it's just going to grab one row at a time. And I have set this up on a schedule of every 46 minutes. You can change that to every 20 minutes, every 15 minutes, every hour and a half, however often you like for this to actually run and post to Twitter. And the great thing about Twitter is that you can post however many times you like per day, and there's no disqualification or penalty for posting multiple times. So once we have identified a new row, I will then post it to Twitter. So it will simply grab that tweet text and post on your channel. And the last step is to update that spreadsheet row with the post ID. And I've put a little link here, which has got my custom URL in it, which you can then change as well. And that is that simple process. So that will post every day or every 46 minutes. And then what we want to do is grab the stats from our Twitter posts. So if I go into this automation, the first step is to run through Appify, and I've got the details here of a tweet scraper, and this input JSON, you can simply customize it by changing this value with your Twitter handle. So you simply copy and paste this, change that value, and it will run, and it will grab all of your latest tweets. We'll grab the latest 100, so it's not going to overuse the Appify actor. I then like to send myself a notification. I find this is good for visual feedback. When I'm running these automations, I like to get something on my phone just so that I know it's actually working, and then it keeps me motivated to look at it, identify it, analyze what's happening, and then make adjustments. So then I put a link here to the spreadsheet. So if I get an automation, I can just click it and open it up. Otherwise, it'll just tell me that it's actually working. The third step is to grab the data set from Appify. So once you run something on it, you then need to run another step, which will grab all of that data that's just created, and we return that in JSON. Then this step is going to search for each item in the spreadsheet, grab the relevant row, and then it is going to update that row with the stats and information returned from Appify. So there's a few different little tricks here which you don't have to worry about because they're already done here. You simply download this and upload into your make.com platform. The last part of this process is we grab the best performing tweet and then we'll create more content. So if I open this automation, this will search Google Sheets, and there's a filter here that's going to grab items from the last 3 days. You can adjust this if you like. You could make it just for 1 day. If you have a lot of volume or a good audience on your Twitter channel and you're getting a lot of views very quickly, you can modify that to run whenever you like. I set this up on a schedule just to run every Monday and Thursday, which is roughly every 3 days. So that's then going to grab the latest tweets from Google Sheets. And I've got a little filter here that will identify just the best performing tweet. And then I've got 2 different processes here. So this will create or add that tweet into a new Slack channel or a marketing automation Slack channel, which I then have another process which will grab content added into that Slack channel and create a blog post. And then I also add it back into the hooks channel, which will then use that tweet, which was the best performing tweet, and then go create more tweets based on that. So I have a perpetually generating content machine here that's going to always have content created, added, and it's just going to keep updating Twitter. So that's the process I use to automate posting to Twitter and finding the best hooks that I can then turn into more content or create into longer form content. So I hope you enjoyed that. It is a little bit technical when running through it, but the setup and the process is really quite easy. If you go over to school.com/marketing automation, you can click Classroom, download all of the automations, upload them into your make.com account, and then you easily just go through and customize each of the items with your personal Twitter account.